All right, welcome back everybody to the
Crypto Show with Stevie and Nick.
Right on, I love it. All right, so last time we left off, and I just wanted to get some clarification on the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we can give a summary and maybe a little bit of elaboration on what the blockchain is. So I'm going to take a stab first.
Mm-hmm.
You go in and correct me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll regurgitate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As I understand the blockchain, it is 5th grade math.
It sure is.
Right? Broken down into its lowest common denominator, so to speak, almost metaphorically speaking. Whatever that figure is cannot be replicated. And that creates a security system, a platform that cannot be encrypted.
It cannot be manipulated without it becoming obvious.
Cannot be manipulated without it becoming obvious. Then that is served as a protection
Exactly.
for the Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Now, if I got there, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. All right, so now regurgitate that and tell me how much of it, what's my grade in this class so far?
So far, you have got a B+.
Okay,
So far.
all right, I'll take it. All right,
You're doing pretty good.
what do I need to do to get to the A?
To get to the A+, what you have to do is see why we would want a blockchain in the first place.
Okay.
And what a blockchain is going to do for us.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a list of transactions
Mm-hmm.
of who has what money,
Right?
Visa has a list of transactions of who has what money.
Mm-hmm.
Visa doesn't have to worry about keeping it immutable.
Okay.
Because Visa spends a lot of money to hire a lot of people to make sure nobody cooks the books.
Okay.
at Visa.
Got it.
With Bitcoin,
Mhm.
there's no one to hire. There's no team of people making sure that no one is going to cook the books.
Because of the blockchain.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
The blockchain is what lets you ensure no one is cooking the books without Visa.
Okay.
Without the bank, without nobody.
Okay.
You can keep this record of who has what transactions, who has what money, without any recourse to a central authority.
Okay, put that up, put a comma on that. When I was younger, I was kind of fanatic over my finances. And so every time I got a bank statement, I would open it up and I'd take all of my receipts for that month and I would do cross-check. And I would do that over and over and over, and maybe once out of every 3 years there was an error. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, $8.64, I didn't do that, and I'll call the bank and they're like, yeah, that's not right, it should have been a $3.64 or something like that. Something got transposed, but that was a lot of work for me to kind of keep the banks in check.
Yeah.
Eventually, as I got older, I started comparing the time that it took for me to do that versus the money that I would track and lose. The $5 or $20 a year or every 3 years, it wasn't worth my time. So slowly I divorced it, but it still was running in the back of my mind. How much of that process that I did is kind of replicated in this blockchain process versus what the banks do?
100%. And the thing that's a little bit different about Bitcoin is that anybody can go back and view the list of transactions. The list of transactions is 100% public.
Okay.
So not only can you audit your stuff,
Everybody else.
everybody else's. So
Okay, I get it.
what keeps it private is that nobody knows who has which number.
Okay.
With Bitcoin, it's all about the numbers.
Okay.
So I don't know your number, you don't know my number. So we have this huge list.
But I know my own number.
You know your own number.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know your own number, but nobody else does.
Right.
So we have this huge list of transactions that is totally public of some number sending some amount of Bitcoin to some other number.
Okay.
And that's what everyone can see.
Okay.
And you can just go on the website and
Send
see
it.
this. Yeah, you can just, this is chainz.cryptoid.info. There's a whole bunch of these sites.
Okay, so that's not the only premier site.
Yeah.
Many sites will let you gain access where you can track your own number.
Exactly. Many sites will let you do this.
Okay.
And this is all auditable by anybody.
Okay.
So for some people, that's a little leery.
Yeah.
They don't like the idea of everyone seeing their bank statement.
Why would someone be nervous about letting their information, or at least the basis of this information, be public? It seems like it would be safe because everybody in the community is holding each other accountable.
Exactly.
So why would that, unless you had some nefarious kind of mindset that you were trying to do something?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's how, so people look at financial privacy a few different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are looking at it exactly like this. If you've got nothing to hide, then,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
why are you trying to hide something?
Exactly.
Other people look at it in a manner of, I don't have anything illegal to hide, but I have certain things I want to keep private.
It's none of your business.
It's none of your business.
None of your business.
Let's say I'm paying a psychiatrist for something.
Right.
Is that your business?
None of your
No,
business.
That's none of your business.
Right.
You don't have to, I mean, that's not.
Some people not that far out of this room pay for strippers. That's their own thing. That's their own
Exactly.
business.
Do you really want to know what happened to hookers last week?
Exactly. Now,
You're free.
now this brings up a good point. And then I'm sure that you can wrap it back in. There are some countries, and I believe New Zealand, they publish everyone's taxes. Everyone's taxes are public record. So you know exactly who the person lives across the street from you, you know what your boss makes. Everybody's stuff is transparent. And there's some people don't like that, but it kind of creates some kind of like a unity, because people are just like, hey, look, the vanity or whatever is kind of removed from the culture in a sense. And it's just like, hey, look, we got better things to think about other than our attachment to the dollar. We earn our money, we do our things, but let's focus on our community.
Exactly.
So it seems like this has mostly a plus. This blockchain seems to be mostly a positive, except for some people who feel a little bit squirmish about the exposure.
Exactly. And for those people who feel squirmish about the exposure, there are some Bitcoin knockoffs that do allow you to have privacy. You want me to stop for the thing?
Yeah.
There are some, I'm tempted to kind of just pull them up at this point.
Yeah, you mean
Go
that
ahead.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Oh, good. All right, so then before you pull this up, because the Bitcoin knockoff will allow you to get away from the blockchain situation, true?
Not the blockchain.
Okay.
It will allow you to impose privacy upon the blockchain.
Okay.
So the way that they get away with this is they use some complicated math, and the analogy is this.
Okay, hold on. Complicated math. So we're out of 5th grade.
Well, okay, all right. So we are the programmers are out of 5th grade, but we have a very simple analogy.
Okay, got it.
So so we have a bunch of people who have hired voters, and they don't want anyone to know that. I think if I can use a different example.
Maybe. But you know what though? We do whatever it takes for you guys to understand your money. If that's the image that works for some of you, then roll with that in your mind. You can continue in your mind with that, but he may reset and say, what?
So we can go back to 5th grade.
Okay.
Let's say we have a bunch of 5th graders, and they have money that is somehow not made private. They know one of them has a $5 bill and one of them has a $10 bill, and they have been doing something and they want to mix up this money so you can't tell who had what dollar bill. For whatever reason.
For whatever reason, this is the game they're playing.
This is the game they're playing, and they want to mix it up.
Okay.
So all they really have to do, if they want to play this particular game, is they have to write down who has how much money at the start, and they're going to put all the dollar bills into a hat.
Okay.
And they're going to mix up the dollar bills.
Okay.
And then they're going to hand back the dollar bills that they came out of in different
forms. So instead of someone having 5, then someone might have 75 cents, someone might have $1.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
They are going to mix it up that way.
Ooh.
That's an analogy for what these Bitcoin knockoffs do to keep it private. They take a certain amount of Bitcoins coming in, they then mix it up, and then they hand it out in the same amounts that came in, but with different denominations, so you couldn't tell which one came in the first place.
Okay, now, this is where I'm gonna need you guys, okay? Because my job is to translate what he just said. And then this one here, I'm having trouble. It's like, first of all, I'm thinking about Milton Bradley. And I'm wondering how they would make this into a game, because this is beyond Monopoly. This is Bitcoin Monopoly. I just have my idea. I want a trademark on that Bitcoin Monopoly.
There you go.
That's a good deal. I think
we should start Bitcoin Monopoly.
Bitcoin Monopoly, I love that idea. But okay, so then why would what is the end game of redistributing the money to the kids in different amounts?
The point is, if the kids, for some reason, want to keep private who had which bills.
Okay.
So you could think of this as 5th grade money laundering.
Okay.
That's what's going on.
He's on one.
5th grade money laundering.
Is this 18 and older? I don't want no 5th grader being like, oh, this is a good idea. Right? Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Because that's what
5th grade money laundering. Start them off young.
Exactly. This is what people who want financial privacy want. They want to use cash. They want to use something that's not traceable because they want to keep their privacy. It's exactly like you go in the store and you use cash.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether you have used this cash to buy a bottle of water or use this cash to buy something that's
Tequila.
or tequila, exactly.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. The cash will buy the same thing one way or another, and nobody can nobody can track it.
Okay, so if I use my Visa.
Exactly.
Yes.
Visa knows you bought tequila.
Exactly, and then so does your wife.
Exactly.
So
because she sees the credit card statement,
she sees a statement and she
Tequila Land. What do you mean Tequila Land?
Exactly. Tequila Land.
What do you mean Tequila Land?
It's a bookstore.
Then it's a bookstore.
It's a bookstore.
She's not going to buy it. And you don't blame her for not buying it.
So that's why you want to redistribute it, so you can be anonymous in what you spend your money in.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
That's why you have this
I get that.
money laundering. But
I get that.
the other people who want financial transparency, they don't like the money laundering. They want to track what everyone does and says, well, tequila is legal. We can't really get on people's case for buying tequila.
Right.
Just let everyone see that you bought tequila and leave it at that. And everyone says, well, maybe it's good enough for you, but my wife's not going to be too happy about that. So I want to use this Bitcoin knockoff that has the money laundering.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I'm not here to judge. For whatever reason, people might be embarrassed for whatever,
It could be anything.
It could be anything.